Welcome back! My name is ballerscuba. This is Video Games Over Time! We are still in 1987. Today, we're going to talk about Metal Gear. The story of Metal Gear takes us back to Konami. We have talked about Konami several times before. They have been responsible for Gradius, Double Dribble, and Castlevania. We last talked about Konami in our video on Contra. For Metal Gear, Konami turned to Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima, while still in university, began his career looking to get involved in the film industry. After seeing the Famicom, Kojima began looking for a way into the video game industry. As Konami was the only company listed on the Japanese stock exchange at the time, Kojima applied for a job there. He was hired and assigned to Konami's MSX division, which was a disappointment to Kojima, who felt the MSX had too small of a color palette. The first game Kojima worked on would be Penguin Adventure, released in 1986 for MSX computers, with Kojima working as assistant director. Penguin Adventure is a platform racing game, notable for having role-playing elements, multiple endings, and a wider variety of levels than its predecessor, Antarctic Adventure. Kojima was asked to take over a new project. The new project was to be an action game for MSX2 computers focused on modern military combat. However, the limitations on the MSX2 for scrolling made it difficult to create a smooth-scrolling military combat game. Taking inspiration from the 1963 film The Great Escape, Kojima would create a game where the object was to evade capture. Kojima referred to the game as a kind of hide-and-seek and tried to replicate the tension of the childhood game. Should the character be discovered, the game turns more into a maze game, which is said to be inspired by Pac-Man. The game, originally titled Intruder during planning stages, would have a transceiver to enhance the storytelling. Kojima felt that this would allow plot to happen outside of the main character's actions. This would also allow for foreshadowing and drama outside of the player's control. Kojima would have helped to create the game. This would include programmers Hiroyuki Fukui, Tomonori Otsuka, and Koji Toyohara, artists Masami Tabata and Azusa Fujimoto, and composers Iku Mizutani, Shigehiro Takanoshi, and Motoaki Furukawa. Metal Gear is a stealth game. The player plays as a military operative codenamed Solid Snake in the unknown future year of 19XDX, at least in the original version. Solid Snake must infiltrate the enemy's base unarmed and hopefully unseen. Should the player be seen, Solid Snake must get out of sight to resume infiltrating the base. Along the way, Solid Snake can find weapons with limited ammunition to defeat the enemy. Solid Snake can also defeat the enemies unarmed as well. Mercenaries will challenge Solid Snake to combat, acting as bosses for the player to fight. Throughout the game, Solid Snake can communicate with his commanding officer, Big Boss, and members of the Resistance near the enemy base. Each person can be reached on a different frequency on Solid Snake's transceiver. The player must remain in contact with these players throughout the game. Konami released Metal Gear to MSX2 computers on July 13, 1987. That is a backstory to Metal Gear. With that told, it's time to take a closer look at the game's manual, thanks to a fan translation done by Alligator MSF, although it is said some story elements have been retconned into the translation to more align with future games. The manual, much like the box for the game, features art clearly inspired by a publicity image of Michael Biehn from the 1984 film The Terminator. It then features a logo for the Special Force group Foxhound that reads, "In the year 19XDX, a Special Force unit is founded in secret to fight against local rebellions, regional conflicts, and terrorism. This unit is named Foxhound. Foxhound is made up of special agents who sneak single-handedly into non-official combat zones that are too politically awkward to intervene through military force. Foxhound agents are trained to complete the various missions required of them in secret, almost like a modern ninja." This is followed by the story that reads, deep in South Africa, 200 kilometers north of Galsburg, Outer Heaven is born. It is an armed fortress nation that was established in the late 90s by a mercenary who was both a hero and maniac. Something is happening in Outer Heaven. A massacring weapon that could change the world forever is reported to be in development. Foxhound sends an agent codenamed Grey Fox to gather data about this ultimate weapon. However, several days later, after his final report being Metal Gear, contact with Fox has ceased. Foxhound is called to duty once again. This time the intruder is a rookie soldier codenamed Solid Snake, who joined Foxhound recently. His mission is to find the whereabouts of Grey Fox, then find proof of this Metal Gear and destroy it. Solid Snake is sent on his first mission with nothing but a wireless radio. Mercenaries from all around the world are said to have gathered in Outer Heaven. Can Snake accomplish his mission? The voice of Commander-in-Chief of Foxhound, Big Boss, comes in from the wireless radio. Snake, this isn't training. This is a real war. I wish you good luck. Snake heard the sound of gunfire in his head. After descriptions of how the game is played, the manual introduces the characters. Solid Snake, rookie member of Foxhound who only joined recently. Operation Intrude N313 is his first mission. Diane, a member of the Resistance. She used to be a singer in a pop-punk band Thin Wall. She uses her female charm to gain intelligence. She knows a lot about the mercenaries of Outer Heaven. Big Boss, the Commander-in-Chief of Foxhound. After his career in different organizations like the Green Berets, the Colombian Army, and his own PMC during the 70s, MSF, he became Foxhound's commander. He helps Snake understand how to use weapons and equipment. Dr. Petrovich Madnar, a brilliant scientist well known for his works in prosthetics. He and his daughter Aline were captured by Outer Heaven while attending a meeting for scientists in the US. Since his capture, he is being forced to make weapons while his daughter is held hostage. He's developed TX-11, Bloody Brad, and the Metal Gear TX-55. Jennifer, a Resistance member. Jennifer snuck into Outer Heaven claiming to be medical staff to save her brother, who was captured by Outer Heaven. She helps you by finding items for you. Grey Fox, the man with the codename Grey Fox. He is considered to be part of Foxhound's best due to his combat ability and intelligence. He is the sole receiver of the codename Fox, the highest honor in Foxhound. Contact with Fox was lost after he infiltrated Outer Heaven. Schneider, an ex-architectural design engineer who is now the leader of the Resistance. Schneider was forced to help design and build Outer Heaven, but joined the Resistance after his wife and children were killed. He knows a lot about the layout of Outer Heaven. Ellen Petrovich, Dr. Madnar's only daughter. She used to be a Bolshoi ballet star. She was kidnapped along with her father by Outer Heaven. The manual then has details for the weapons and equipment in the game, a quick overview of the mission as left by Grey Fox, and more technical information about how to play the game. That is a cursory look at the manual as it originally appeared. With that looked at, it's time to play the game for ourselves. And here we are in the game. This is Metal Gear. As you can see, copyright 1987 by Konami. Now, they do have a few different things they can show you in the demo. This is actually a good one to start with. They show you how to get the first card key. I'm not sure you would always think, hey, let's stand next to a truck and see what happens, but that is how you're supposed to do it. Another one will have Big Boss going over the F keys and how that works. It's like F1 to pause, F4 to use the transceiver, F2 to select your weapon, and F3 to, select your item. There we go. We are playing the original MSX2 version of the game, thanks to translations. One major translation done by Takamichi Suzukawa and the hacking done by Nakura Hoka. Here's Big Boss breaking the fourth wall, telling you how to use the F keys to make it through the game, which we will need. I believe that I am ready to go, though. This is a game that I'm excited to get into, but I'm also very nervous about because I know this game can be difficult. It requires a lot of not necessarily tedious memorization, but memorization. And we'll get into that. Let's head in and see what I can do. I've been practicing trying to make sure I know what I'm doing at least a little bit. And we're getting a call from Big Boss already. This is Big Boss. Operation Intrude N313. Infiltrate the enemy fortress, Outer Heaven, and destroy Metal Gear, the final weapon. First, contact Gray Fox, who's vanished, and learn about Metal Gear. Call on frequency 12085 from now on. Over. So yeah, we are going to be able to talk to people through this transceiver as long as we have the right number, the right frequency to reach them. We should be fine. But we are Solid Snake, and we are ready to go. This seems like it's his first mission. That's my interpretation of what's going on, but we need to find Gray Fox. Let's head forward, and I'm going to be using saves often. But we get another call. This is Big Boss. This is an infiltration mission. Avoid detection by the enemy. Over. Alright, like I said, I've been practicing, so I know that I need to go north first, so that is what we're going to do. See if we can't avoid these guys' detection by just sneaking out to the right. And hey, this looks familiar. The first truck here has rations in it. It'll take me a while to figure out how to use those. Hopefully I won't have to for a while. Then we can hide here and wait for this guy to get out of the truck. If you go in too soon, he'll be there waiting for you. And we can sneak in and grab the card key number 1. Just for the record, if you don't wait for him, he's inside waiting for you. And will shoot you, so don't do that. They're forgiving early on in this game. Ooh, binoculars. And the enemies won't follow you screen to screen, but that will change as the game goes on. Don't think there's any point to me going up here. No, just there's some dogs hanging out, guarding some stuff. All right, but we have our first card key. Let's see if I can sneak past you guys fast enough. I can. And this is the same phone call that we got before. That happens basically whenever you go on the screen. These guards are a little bit easier to avoid because they go in a set pattern. So once you figure out the pattern, it's pretty easy. All right, so what we do is hit F3 to do the equipment select and hit F3 again on card 1, and that'll let us use the card to go through the door here. Ah, sleepy. And he is asleep, so we can run up to him and punch him. N or M will do it, either one. It takes like 3 punches, but then you can get the gas mask. We are going to need that. Absolutely. And I think we're fine for a little bit now. We're gonna wait for them. See if I can make it. Nope, they caught me, but now I'm fine. There's that same phone call. And we can head north, and I can drop a save here. We can do that pretty quick. Okay. Now we need to try to figure out how to get past these guys to the north. I think that might be my opportunity. They caught me, but we are fine. Once again, early on, they'll let us sneak past these guys, and once we're off the screen, even if we're detected, we'll be fine again. Okay, sneak past these guys to the north. And avoid these guys for now. And then we can head in here and get ourselves a handgun. We are going to need that. Notice that I don't have any ammo for it. That will come later. And then just like the other one, we want to sneak around here and kind of wait. We can wait down here, I bet. And enemies will come out of the middle and right truck. The right truck is the only one you want to go into. If you go into the middle one, it's not game over, but it's going to be close. There's like 6 guards in there, and they will chase you till the ends of the earth. So don't go in that one. But here we can get a mine that will be useful, and then we're just not going to go into the middle truck at all. And head back to the left. And here we can find these two guys. Can you tell that I've practiced? Like I said, it's sometimes just about memorization. And these guys are relieved and will leave as a result. And then we can head in here to the elevator. We're on the first floor. This is the second floor, but we can't get out here. So we head back up to the third floor. And let me get my notes ready. And we head back out. Let's drop a save here. Normally you can't drop a save here, I don't think, but they're going to let me do it. And we get another phone call. This is Big Boss. Be careful of cameras. Over. Thanks. So 2 cameras here. You can see which way they are pointing, so you want to go over here to avoid the one on the left. And then you can go down here, back up, and where we want to go is the left side. So let's go that way and sneak into this part here where we can find ammo, 20 bullets. That will help us quite a bit. They're automatically loaded. Using that key card, we can head down here. I'm saved, and we rescue our first POW, I believe is what they are referred to into this game. That's all he has to say about it, though. Okay, we're going to drop a save here because the next room kind of sucks. Let's walk up to it and immediately hit F3 once we're on the other side. I wasn't fast enough. Get the gas mask on. Now we get a phone call, so to speak. This is Big Boss. I forgot to tell you. Use a gas mask in gassy areas. Resistance leader Schneider knows its location. Over. So, yeah, if you hang out in this room without the gas mask, you'll lose health. You can tell it's gassy because there's those little things of gas. That's how you're supposed to figure it out. I think we got hit a couple times because I just mashed F3 a little bit too much. Head down here and use the key and go over here. Punch, punch, punch. And we have done it. Hooray. We'll drop another save here because things can get dicey. We'll wait a little bit longer. That camera is going to prevent us from going where we need to go, which is the bottom left door here. There we go. And in here we can get another POW. I'm saved. The foxhounder who infiltrated a few days ago is safe. They're holding him. Okay, that is good to know. And then we can head out of here and try to make it east. No problem. Head through the door, and now we have the rolling pin of doom. Why this is part of a military base, I don't know. Everything else has been pretty realistic to this point, until that. But we can get a plastic bomb out of that. We'll wait for the next cycle here. And then head down here. And up and to the right. And down and over to the right again. And I'll drop a save here. What I need to do is sneak up on this guy and hit him. I don't know why, but the other guy cannot hit me from that, or cannot see me from that distance. Got there just in time. That was kind of lucky. Okay. This time I want to be all the way south. Once again, practice. That makes perfect. Technically it was difficulties, but there we go. Give me your rations. Okay, wait for that to go, and then up in here, I can find another key card. This is key card number 2. Let's go ahead and equip that right now. That will be useful for other things we need to deal with. Punch, punch, punch. And then I should be able to get in here. I'm making this look very easy. And we can get rations. Okay, once we have that, I believe we need to do some backtracking at this point. So let's drop a save and move on. So far I haven't had to reload anything, which is good, but that I'm sure will change. Can I go up there? Thank you. I'll make this next guy easier. Ha! Nobody expects the round-the-corner punches. And then follow you around here. And back this way. Drop another save. Through here, and this time we want to go through the northwest door, so we have to wait for that to go down, and then we can head through here. That is what we are looking for. These are remote-controlled missiles. I'm already laughing because I already know how this is going to go. Alright, let's drop the save and head out, see what we need to do. Because now we can go forward from where we were, which means we kind of need to backtrack again. Okay, I only need to get that one guy and then we're done. Camera seems to be done as well. That worked out pretty well. Alright, through the rolling pin of doom. I don't understand why it is there, but it does exist. And then through here, once again, this spot can be pretty bad. Yep, missed him. No, oh, well, that time he saw me. All right, so now we get to load. It's just like that. You can die. It's not a huge deal. They'll just send you back, but it's a hassle because I think we would go back to the elevator room at this point, which is just so far back. I didn't get my punches in time. You gotta get, like, really? What? I'm so confused by that. All right, let's reload that. Okay, that time he saw me. But that time he didn't. I don't make the rules. Really? This is where I start getting into, like, riskier stuff. All right, we dropped a save there. Let's get back over here. Once again, nobody expects the around the corner punch. And then we want to stay on the bottom here, run all the way to the right, and punch, punch, punch. And that's how you deal with him. Hey, we're fully loaded on ammo. That is very nice. I will take that, drop a save, and then we can head north from here. And this is where we get a phone call. Yep. What, this is Big Boss. I forgot to tell you. You forgot to tell me a lot of things, Big Boss. One more thing. Destroy the power panel of the high voltage current. Use a remote-controlled missile. Schneider, the resistance leader, knows its location. Over. I think I can be calling Schneider this whole time, but I don't feel the need to. Where are we? Actually, I think I'm got a little bit ahead of myself. Yeah, okay. We're good there. So, how this is done, as I drop another save, is F2 to select the missile, face left, and press space to fire it. Up, right, up, right, up. Ta-da! That's how it's done. And then we'll put our handgun back on. I should say that you can use your handgun, but if you do that, you'll alert all the guards. Like, it's the same as getting caught. Even if you kill the guard, they'll just be like, ah, somebody is here. I can hear it. Drop the save there and head up. And can I head in here? No? Okay, that is bad. Thought I could chase him down. Maybe I just wasn't fast enough. Yeah, I need to be faster. There we go. And then we can switch to card number 1. We're going to have to do that quite a bit. Head in here, and it's another POW. Number 3, I believe. I'm saved. Diane of the Resistance supports you on frequency 12033. Diane knows enemy information. Ooh. 12033. 12033. So left and right to change the frequency, and then up to send. This is Solid Snake. Your reply, please. This is Steve. Diane? Diane went shopping and hasn't returned yet. Lovely. Another save dropped. Let's see here. I believe at this point I want to head north. Get out of the way of sight of view. Okay. And then we just ignore these guys for now and head west. That's not good. Try to figure that out again. Okay. Nope. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I thought I was further back. Okay. I'll be able to make it out before... And these guys, they don't see you this way. Okay, let's drop the save there. I forgot how difficult this part was. Here. And then sneak up behind him there. And then they're fine there. Okay, and sneak on this guy. I feel like that can't be right, how easy that is. I think I had to drop a save there just to be sure. I think I go key card 2 up here first. Yeah. And that'll give me the cardboard box. I'll drop another save because I believe I'm going to have to fight those guys again. Yeah, but he's easy. Okay. Then... Oh, still key card number 2. I'm going to have to fight these guys. Or at least one of them. Okay. We're absolutely dropping a save here. Let's head in and hope for the best. There's no way around it. You have to fight at this point. So let's head inside, and we're up against 4 soldiers. Immediately hit. Never a good sign. How did I miss him? I'm sorry. I call shenanigans. That bullet went right through his gut. Okay, let's try that again. I should be using rations at this point. Like... Okay, there's one. How did... What, did they take 2? They take 2? Alright, so what I can do... F3, hit the space bar here. That's how you shoot anyway. Now I'll get you the ration. Okay. Part of me just says to walk over and punch him. That is the incorrect way to think about it. You cannot walk over and punch him. You have to shoot him. I don't think that one hit me. Okay. 2 down. Ration used. Okay, we got what we need out of that, and we got ourselves the silencer. Silencer will prevent the gun from alerting guards. Probably card 1? Yeah, card 1. That'll let us inside here where we can get the grenade launcher. Very nice. Let's see here. Once we got that, we can head out of here. We'll drop another save, even though that wasn't the best. I would love to have more health at this point, but it kind of is what it is. Use card number 2. And then we'll head out to the left, back to where we were before. Which way do I want to go at this point? Yeah, I want to go down here. And through this should lead me to the 4th POW. I'm saved. That's all he has to say about that. Okay, so that is done. And then we can head back the way that we came. Wait for him. Really? I was too close to him? And then out this way. Okay, not the best run, but sneakiness is not my strong suit. I believe at this point I can just No. He was still looking at me. But I think I can just sneak past him. Just wait for my right opportunity. Nobody ever said they were smart guards. Okay, so then from here we can head down and we want to go to the... Where do I want to go? I want to go to the second floor. So that's the basement, first floor, second floor. Okay. And then we can make it out of here. And there we go. I think that's a good stopping point for us today. Like I said, I had some technical issues earlier, so I should be in it for longer sessions from this point forward, and it'll be harder from this point forward. This is where I stopped last time. So that is going to do it for this part of Metal Gear. I've been ballerscuba. This has been Video Games Over Time. I hope you laughed, I hope you learned, and I hope to see you next time for more Metal Gear. Thanks for watching. I remember my outro.